McClatchy Newspapers has an amazing article, and they got it from inside sources about the NRA and how they might have taken money from the Russians and spent it on Trump. So let's dive in. They explain the NRA reported spending a record $55 million on the 2016 elections, including $30 million to support Trump, triple what the group devoted to backing Republican Mitt Romney in the 2012 presidential race. Most of that was money spent by an arm of the NRA that is not required to disclose its donors. Now, this part is not in dispute. The NRA also agrees to that. McClatchy actually has a couple sources that are inside the NRA saying that they might have actually spent up to $70 million or more in the election. But since they don't have to disclose their donors and a lot of this is dark money, it is hard to ferret that out. But if they have violated the law, then the authorities are obligated to investigate and find out what happened. Well, so now look, if you say it's not that big a deal that they supported Trump a lot more than Romney, yeah, okay. I mean, number one, they've gotten more and more dark money as things go along. Mitt Romney was not a very exciting candidate for conservatives. And for gun owners, he had that hilarious line where he said that he hunts vermins. Okay, I get all that. And I think this system of allowing money in politics is insane. I think you need to get all that money out, the Republican money, the Democratic money, Bloomberg, Soros, Koch brothers, Mercers, I don't care, get it all out. But foreign money is illegal, okay? So let's find out if that's what happened. The FBI, they explain, is investigating whether a top Russian banker with ties to the Kremlin illegally funneled money to the National Rifle Association to help Donald Trump win the presidency. Two sources familiar with the matter have told McClatchy. Well, now that's a whole different cup of tea. So if they took money and they spent foreign money in the elections, that is a clear violation of the law and should have severe consequences. So what's amazing about this story is the NRA at the time and now today still not commenting. It's one thing to say, hey, look, these are serious legal proceedings and we'll save it for court. That's normal. But to not comment at all, to not deny it, well, that's fascinating. So they explain more. FBI counterintelligence investigators have focused on the activities of Alexander Torshin, the deputy governor of Russia's central bank, who is known for his close relationship with both Russian President Vladimir Putin and the NRA, the sources said. So Torshin is this central character. He's apparently an NRA member and has been for a while. Interesting. He set up his own version of a gun group in Russia. And then you could say, hey, look, maybe he's just interested in guns. Well, there might be a good reason for that. Let's find out more about Torshin. Torshin, a leading figure in Putin's party, has been implicated in money laundering by judicial authorities in Spain, as Bloomberg News first revealed in 2016. Russian doing money laundering connected to Trump. Well, I would never. It appears that there is plenty of evidence out there of some connections to money laundering in the Russians. Anyway, more on this. A summary obtained by McClatchy of the still secret report links Torshin to Russian money laundering and describes him as a godfather in a major criminal organization called Taganskaya. So, now if the NRA takes money from a guy involved in money laundering and criminal activities and a godfather in Russia, first of all, that in itself is interesting, noteworthy. Even if they didn't spend it in politics, what are they doing taking money from a Russian godfather? If they're allowed to do that, are they allowed to take money from Mexican drug cartels? Are they allowed to take money from Chinese or Japanese gangs? Are they allowed to take money from the Taliban? Taliban's a foreign group. They also love guns. The Mexican drug cartels love guns. The Russian oligarchs and mobsters apparently love guns. So what, NRA should just take money from them? But okay, that would be a PR issue, and if you ask me, not the right thing to do. They're supposed to be representing Americans who care about the Second Amendment, not foreign thugs. But when you spend it in politics, it is illegal, and hence the FBI looking into it. By the way, Dana Rohrabacher, who is so obviously in the tank for Russia, goes out there and does propaganda for them over and over again. and even other Republicans say Rohrabacher is Putin's favorite Republican. He has said about Torshin is conservatives' favorite Russian. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder if it's all that money he's funneling into their campaigns in perhaps a secret way. Now look, when you put all this together, remember the background here, and let me read that to you too. A year ago, 3 US intelligence agencies signed off on a joint assessment that was the basis for the expulsion of 35 Russian diplomats and other sanctions against the Kremlin. The intelligence agencies concluded that what began as a sophisticated Russian operation to undermine Americans' faith in democracy morphed into a drive to help Trump win. Well, part of that drive was to funnel tens of millions of dollars into American groups like the NRA, which then spent it as dark money in politics, and they can prove that, if they can prove that, well, then they should be arrested, and everyone involved in that plot, not just the Russians, but the people at the NRA. And if the Trump campaign knew about it, whoever at the Trump campaign knew about it, should also be arrested. These are very serious issues. What if the Saudis come in and go, hey, you know what? Nice work, Russians, $10 million, I got $10 billion. I'm just gonna buy the next president. He now works for Saudi Arabia. What if the Chinese go, hey, I got a lot more money. I'll put $100 billion in. Do you understand that our system is insane? We allow for unlimited money, and it goes to independent expenditures and campaign contributions. They just buy all our politicians. Now we have dark money, so we don't know where the money comes from. So what stops any foreign government or foreign organization or crime organization from outside the country of simply coming in, giving dark money, and buying our politicians? This system is insane. You want to talk about rigged? This is rigged. Look, you know what I think you should do. Wolf-Pack.com. Get the money out of politics. If you don't get the 28th Amendment, this is going to happen nonstop. But in the case of foreign meddling in our elections and directly giving money that goes to campaigns, they should be put in prison. Lock them up. That is a clear violation of the law. And to this day, Vox reports today, still, NRA is not responding to press inquiries. If you didn't do it, you could easily say that is not true. We'll save the rest for our conversations with the FBI or legal proceedings. But you could at least deny it. They have not denied it. That is unbelievable. If you like this video, bless your heart. We got a lot more where that came from. We do a full show every day, Monday through Friday. Come enjoy it ad-free by becoming a member. TYTnetwork.com/join.